Now, big up to the Reggae Girls, who, despite the struggles, they continue to give the Jamaican fan something to cheer about, especially after what we saw from the Reggae Boyz. Now, before I get to the too much friendly against South Africa, however, I have to mention this. This was an international game, an international series of 2 games featuring Jamaica's most successful football team ever, featuring one of the best players in the world and a plethora of high-profile players plying their trades across the world. Plus, a country that likes to show off and boast about, the tourism product and the beauty of the island and all of that. In other words, Jamaicans like to show off and look bossy to the world. But the quality of the broadcast of an international game or international games and international series on Jamaican soil, hosted by the island's football governing body, was amateur at best. Unbelievable that in 2024, almost 25, a national federation that boasts the profile of the JFF would actually allow that to hit the public domain. Disrespect to the team, players, the fans, and to the game. I see people go to schoolboy games with cell phones and do a better job. Shame on the JFF. I see where they held a press conference to say they now have a company that will produce these streams going forward. Great. But I say this. With all the talent and capabilities available in Jamaica, there is no excuse for what was displayed. Small-scale production with large-scale quality is the norm in today's world. Ask any YouTuber. And I can speak on this because it's what I do. My company does this week in, week out. So it's hard to fathom that this would be allowed with an international fixture. YouTubers with no training in the field are creating better looking streams. Unacceptable. Now, mind big up to the people who had the privilege to broadcast an international game. Big up on that achievement. But more should have gone into the production. Well, they say they have a company now to handle all that. So hopefully, this will be the last time we see this unsatisfactory showing. Anyway, despite all that, Jamaican football fans got the chance to see some entertaining football. Some skill on show, knocking the ball around into space, through passing, and of course a brilliant Olympico goal from Siobhan Wilson, which was her first for Jamaica. Then we saw the most prolific Jamaican ever, Khadija Shaw, Bunny, firing a double to wrap up a 3-0 win in the first leg. It actually sounds away when you reflect that this was Jamaica's first win in 17 games. Don't forget, however, that the JFF and the girls were at loggerheads after the World Cup, so we weren't always able to field our best team. And this included games at the CONCACAF Women's Championships, the Pan American Games, the CONCACAF Gold Cup qualifiers, and friendlies against Brazil and France, where they failed to score in the last 4 games. No surprises there. So the thing set. Now, Jamaica was sloppy in some areas, like, final passes that went nowhere or straight to their opponents. And this allowed the South Africans room to play. And truth be told, with a little more quality, the scoreline could have been different. But I did like that the Jamaicans were willing to play the ball, play through midfield and even on the flanks, using up the thirds, all the acreage available to them. I like that. I mean, that's how you want to play the game, really. Now, in that first leg, Captain Shaw's brace took her tally to 57. Now, remember, that's the most ever for Jamaica, women or men. Big up to Luton Shelton, RIP. Now, the second game was a different affair, at least in the first half, where the Jamaicans seemed to forget how to play and allowed South Africa all the room to play. And again, for a lack of quality, they weren't able to capitalize. That was until the 20th minute, however, when Linda Mathalo fired in a good-looking shot. Boom, into the net. 1-0 South Africa. And the visitors looked like they had, the measure of Jamaica for the entire first half. But big up the Tottenham midfielder Drew Spence, who came on in the second half, and things turned around with Jamaica taking it to the South Africans. Soon, 1-0 became 1-1 through defender Vian Sampson, who scored in the 59th, her first goal for Jamaica as well. Within 5 minutes, Spence herself was on the score sheet. 2-1 Jamaica. Kayla McKenna added the third. 3-1 Jamaica. And you think that was it. But no. There's always drama in the wings. And then we saw a goal. The ball basically went through the goalkeeper. I don't know. Was it hot? She wasn't even there. But anyway, that made it 3-2. That's pretty much where the scoring ended. Jamaica 6-1 aggregate. Now, let's hope that this will be a catalyst for the Reggae Girls to keep growing and to make a third World Cup. What you think? And hopefully, the JFF behaves itself and ensure proper management of the program this time round. Also, we have to big up the people who made it to Catherine Hall to give their support. Not quite the 20,000 that watched the debacle that was the Reggae Boyz, but a crowd nonetheless, support nonetheless. Bless.